When we talk about global order, we mean the system of alliances, economic rules, and power balances that have governed international relations since World War II. But today, that system is changing, fast. And at the center of that shift? The policies and strategies of the second Trump administration. Brain 1. A new foreign policy vision. America First. Literally, the Trump White House has openly rejected the idea that the U.S. should lead the world in global governance if it doesn't directly serve U.S. interests. In its 2025 national security strategy, the administration says the U.S. will no longer act as the global policeman that props up international stability, a seismic ideological shift from the past 70 years. This America First approach is not just rhetoric. It's reshaping alliances, economic ties, and defense commitments. Crossed Swords 2. Geopolitics through the lens of energy and oil. Energy is power, and Trump is using it as a geopolitical tool. Checkmark Venezuela. The U.S. intervened in Venezuela, capturing President Nicolas Maduro and seizing oil assets that hold some of the world's largest oil reserves, a move aimed at reshaping control over global energy supplies. Checkmark oil prices and AMP. Global tension. Tensions with Iran and threats of conflict have pushed global oil prices to multi-month highs, showing how U.S. policy drives market volatility. Checkmark tariffs as leverage. The administration has even threatened tariffs on nations that supply oil to Cuba, showing how trade policy and energy policy are increasingly being used as geopolitical weapons rather than economic tools. This isn't just about oil companies. It's about control over markets, diplomacy, and economic influence. Every time a barrel price spikes or a sanction hits, the balance shifts. Globe 3. New international bodies, or U.S.-led alternatives? One of the most unusual developments is the creation of the so-called Board of Peace, a global institution launched by Trump in Davos that's meant to address world conflicts and reconstruction. But critics argue it's not really about peace, but about creating a U.S.-centric alternative to existing institutions like the United Nations. In fact, some countries, including New Zealand, have declined to join without clearer goals and legitimacy. This reflects a broader trend. Trump wants new frameworks that put U.S. leadership, or his version of it, at the center of global governance. Military Helmet 4. NATO and middle powers in a post-U.S.-led world. Trump's approach has strained old alliances, especially NATO. Reports show U.S. defense officials skipping important NATO meetings and signaling that Europe must take more responsibility for its defense, weakening the perception of U.S. commitment. At the same time, leaders of middle power nations are beginning to reassess how they build influence outside the traditional U.S.-led order. Some analysts, and even former Western economic leaders, are calling for a coalition of countries that doesn't rely on great power dominance to maintain peace. ICE 5, Greenland, sovereignty, and the new geography of power. Trump's interest in Greenland, not just mining or climate strategy, but outright territorial acquisition, sparked diplomatic pushback from Europe, risking trade relationships with key allies. This episode shows something deeper. Geopolitics today isn't just about treaties, it's about geography, resource access, and strategic advantage. Downward Trend 6, Economic and AMP. Investment impact. Geopolitical shifts are not abstract, they affect everyday people. For example, Trump's Board of Peace and Venezuelan policy are already being linked to market reactions and investor uncertainty, including swings in 401k plans and energy stocks as global risks change. This underscores a broader point. Geopolitics now influences not just foreign policy, it influences your wallet. Brain 7. What this all means, in simple terms. So what's happening? The old global system, anchored by alliances like NATO, trade rules, and multilateral institutions, is fragmenting. The U.S. is pushing unilateral leverage through energy control, tariffs, and new institutions. Middle powers and allies are adapting, building new networks and taking more independent roles. Global markets are reacting to geopolitical turbulence, and that affects everyday economics. In short, We're moving from a rules-based global order toward one where power, resources, and strategic self-interest determine the landscape, and that's a huge shift with real consequences. If the post-World War II world was built on cooperation and institutions, the 2020s may be defined by competition and self-interest. The only question now is, who shapes the new order, and how will the world respond? Call to action, CTA, like, share, and subscribe for more breakdowns on geopolitics and how it impacts your world, not just headlines, but what's really driving change.